In the music world of acoustic guitars, the pick falling into the sound hole is a major problem. Getting the pick out of the sound hole can be an extremely difficult task if you have not done so for many years. We wanted to create a device to help get the pick out of the sound hole, or a device that would prevent the pick from ever falling into the sound hole in the first place.
Was it very frustrating for you, or?
It used to be. I mean, I got to the point where since no physics class had ever solved the problem, I stopped thinking about it. So if you have a solution, great. Because yes, it's annoying. Particularly because if it stays in there, like I have other picks, but it's really annoying to hear that thing clanking around in there.
Right.
How often does your guitar pick fall into the guitar?
Well, I don't use a pick.
Okay.
On stage I do. It's pretty common though. We have to get them out quite often. Customers drop.
We realized it would be much more beneficial to construct something that blocks the sound hole to keep the pick from getting a chance to fall into the sound hole. Inventing a device seemed like a great solution at first, but became more complicated for the user as we went on. This is why we decided to eliminate user confusion altogether by making something to cover the sound hole and is easy to use. Our user interviews helped us to come up with the idea of using wood and plastic. They also helped us to determine a device would probably not sell very well unless it was cheap.
No problem. I think you've hit on two different potentials. One, obviously making it out of plastic would make it much cheaper to produce, but making it out of wood, you can make it more decorative, and they're more aesthetically more.
One of the users we interviewed thought that there would not be as much of a demand for a device to get the pick out of the sound hole.
Or to create something such as a device to maybe get it out, something sticky or maybe with adhesive, would you consider it? Possibly.
I don't. Acoustic guitars are something I play all the time. But like I said, anything with a perceived value. I mean, if it has an actual value, you can sell it. If you can sell, and there is actual. I mean, even if you can't, people sold rocks. That rock.
Pet rocks there for a while.
Yeah. But if it's cost effective, I mean, I assume if you can make something and the price is under $2 probably, you could sell it in a music store maybe. Yeah.
We came up with several prototypes before deciding on the sound hole cover for our final prototype. The first is a plunger-like mechanism that when you push the plunger down inside the sound hole, the sticky adhesive on the end picks up the pick. The second prototype is a spoon-like object where you can lower it into the sound hole and snap the guitar pick into the forked ends. The next is a magnetic pick and a pull with a magnet on the end that can pick up the guitar pick. The final two are tape on a stick and tape on a string, which are pretty self-explanatory.
We decided on our final products because in our user interviews they did not like the idea of using a device to get the pick out of the sound hole. Creating a device to prevent the pick from falling into the sound hole was much more efficient than creating a device to retrieve the pick from the sound hole.
We learned from our final user testing that there are different tastes and different sound hole covers for different people. The first employee that I interviewed liked the wooden sound hole cover for the guitar because of the style, design, and feedback block. The feedback block was not something we were originally aiming for, but is a hidden plus for our product. The second employee that I interviewed liked the idea of the patch-style sound hole cover because it offered more chances for the guitar to breathe and the sound to get out easier. Both of these sound hole covers are great products to keep the guitar pick out of the sound hole.
That ain't bad, and that's for like a feedback buster anyways. So it's got the cool design on it. I dig it.
Thanks. Okay, so the one on your left is the plastic cover. That one would be relatively cheaper, and it has adhesive on it, so it's basically like a patch that you can stick onto the sound hole to block guitar picks. So what are your opinions on that one?
I think it's good that it's very good that it's open all over and that there's all those holes in it. I think it's better for the sound, much better for the sound.